Meher Baba Ki Jai. Um, Mamaji, you want to read the My Wish and then we'll get into the reading.
Okay, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. The lover has to keep the wish of the beloved. My wish for my lover is as follows. Do not shirk your responsibilities. Attend faithfully to your worldly duties, but keep always at the back of your mind that all this is Baba. When you feel happy, think Baba wants me to be happy. When you suffer, think Baba wants me to suffer. Be resigned to every situation and think honestly and sincerely. Baba has placed me in this situation. With the understanding that Baba is in everyone, try to help and serve others. I say with my divine authority to each and all that whosoever takes my name at the time of breathing his last comes me. So do not forget to remember me in your last moments. Unless you start remembering me from now on, it will be difficult to remember me when your end approaches. You should start practicing from now on. Even if you take my name only once every day, you will not forget to remember me in your dying moments. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai.
That. So let's get into our reading. Baba is in Andhra on his second visit, and we are continuing from, I think, the second day of his Andhra trip. He visited a few homes and had one public darshan in the reading last week. So let's pick up from there. It's a section called Dramatic Darshan. Okay. So, Ashok ji, are you in a position to read?
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Okay. So,
is my
why don't
voice
you start?
coming through clear?
Loud and clear, Houston.
Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Dramatic darshan. A little later, Baba's work apparently done, he told the driver to go on. But instead of directing him to the pandal, Baba told him to drive to Majiti's house so he could, change his clothes. Once there, Baba walked up the stairs to his room, but instead of changing his clothes, Baba immediately descended to the ground floor by the back stairs and began roaming through all the rooms. He stood for a while before the puja room and then asked Majiti's wife for a cup of tea. Majiti had told her that Baba might want tea at any time. She was prepared, and it was not long before the tea was ready, and she sent it upstairs with her son. Baba took only a sip and then gave the rest to the boy. Then, without ever changing his clothes or taking a rest, Baba left the house to attend the darshan program. None of the Mandli ever asked the reasons behind such apparently random actions. They were certain that whatever Baba did was in connection with his universal work, and that was enough for them. Baba reached the Pandal at 5 p.m., 2 hours later than scheduled. There was a huge crowd waiting for him. Baba bowed to the assembled masses with folded hands. After the usual garlanding and arti, the welcome address, the humblest of the humble greeting to the highest of the high, was read out over the public address system. A part of it is given below. Beloved, one without the second, thou art the effulgence, all pervading being. Thou art the master of the world, the self of the universe, and supreme refuge. May your minds be filled with pure devotion and love for thee and love for all beings. We salute thee, Lord of auspiciousness.
It's may our minds be filled.
Oh,
So it's a
sorry.
prayer.
But
May our
but
minds.
but Karthik is worth underlying, I think, and especially
Yeah,
what,
sure.
what the world is going through right now with so much of war around. I mean, I just spoke. May our minds be filled with pure devotion and love for thee and love for all beings. I think that's the need of the hour. I'm just sharing my thoughts after reading this. Can we read it again?
Yeah, I like this also. The humblest of the humble greeting to the highest to the high. Anyway, you can read it. Read again. Yeah.
Uh, the humblest of the humble, and what is that? Can you go ahead? Go up. The humblest of the humble, greeting to the highest of the high. Wow. Beloved, without
So there is,
one,
yeah,
one
yeah.
without a second, thou art the effulgence, all pervading being, thou art the master of the world, the self of the universe and supreme refuge. May your minds be filled with pure devotion and love for thee and love for all beings. We salute thee, Lord of auspiciousness.
There
Yeah.
is
Sanjay ji. Yeah.
there is a book called Mere Baba on War. I posted. It's a very small booklet.
Yeah, yeah.
It was published soon after the China War by K.K. Ramakrishnan from Pune.
Hmm?
So when we have time, we can read this. Given the current circumstances, the word is, yeah. Jai Baba.
And thank you, Sanjay. Thank
Good
you.
idea. Thank you.
Baba then got up from his seat on the dais and walked to the edge of the platform and down the steps to the ground where he sat with the crowd. As soon as Baba did this, all those at the back could no longer see him. They pushed forward, fearing that Baba had left and had and they had missed their chance of having darshan. Those who were closer also surged forward to be better able to take advantage of this rare opportunity of getting a closer glimpse of the God man sitting in their midst. 3 or 4 times Baba stood up so all could see him and gestured to the crowd to remain calm and to stay seated where they were. And surprisingly, each time the frantic pushing and shoving stopped immediately, and a calm and serene atmosphere prevailed for a while. Returning to his seat on the dais, Baba dictated, I want you to feel that I am one of you, and that is why I sat here on the ground with you all. I am on the level of each one of you, whether poor or rich, small or big. I am like each of you, but I am approachable only to those who love me. This is not idle talk, but an authoritative statement that eternally I have been and will always be the slave of my lovers. Then the message, playing with illusions, was read out in English and Telugu. There's a cross reference 27.
So it's already referred in the same book, 148.
Uh, I just wanted to pause one time and just say that even in Amar Tithi, there's a lot of rush and people are, sometimes impatient to, what they had said that, people wanted to, uh, rush and, but, but just wanted to say that Baba is present everywhere. So, I mean, it's just that people get uh, ambitious to get darshan or to be in the line. Anyway, then the message playing, sorry, the thousands who had assembled were enraptured by Baba's divine dignity and beauty. His presence, his love seemed to flow out toward all and made everyone intent only on having Baba's darshan and receiving the prasad which he started to distribute after the Telugu translation was read out. Although it had been repeatedly announced that none should touch Baba's feet, several people in their enthusiasm, overcome with emotion, reached down to touch Baba's feet. One man was so intent on bowing down to Baba that Pukar, who was a big sturdy fellow, was unable to prevent him even though he used all his strength. For Pukar, this was a lesson. He had thought that he was strong enough to see that none disobeyed Baba's order, but he realized that the feelings of the heart were more powerful than physical strength. Men and women had been asked to form separate queues to receive prasad. First, the women were told to come forward, but soon on his own, Baba stopped the woman's queue and had the men's queue begin. Several times, Baba stopped one queue and had the other started. This created much confusion in the crowds, and once again, fearing that they might lose their chance of receiving prasad, people started pushing indiscriminately toward the dais. Every effort to get people to stand quietly in a queue was overwhelmed by the mass of humanity now surging toward the platform. The volunteers could not restore order, and finally they surrounded Baba to protect him. Saraji Patel, one of Baba's oldest mandali, got incensed at the way the crowd was ignoring the mandali's request to form queues and started berating people in Marathi, which of course no one understood. They answered back in Telugu, which Patel could not understand. Carried away in the heat of the moment, Patel, who had been a wrestler in his youth, hitched up his dhoti and challenged the unruly members of the crowd to wrestle with him. Eventually, the Mandli and other workers were able to form a ring around Bawa and shove their way through the tumultuous crowd to the safety of Baba's car. Baba got inside and was driven back to his residence.
These
Baba,
videos are available.
sorry?
Andhra, Baba's Andhra visit. This he is coming down from his room from the first floor, and he comes
Okay.
down from the stage on the floor. These are available on the video. Yeah, yeah, Baba.
Okay. Okay. There's that famous video also where he's sitting on the top of the car, correct?
Yeah, that was in Kogut. Yeah,
That's a magical video. It's the sun is behind him. It's almost like an halo. Oh, that's a
yes,
wonderful, wonderful video.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can also rotate reading if, or maybe it's too early. But if there are other readers, happy to pass the baton to all the people.
I can take it for a while.
Sure.
Yeah,
Ashok thank you very much.
yeah.
So that more people get an opportunity. Maybe it's a little earlier than
No,
planned,
no,
but
it's
okay.
okay. Everybody
Thank
should
you.
get uh and Sunil's got a beautiful, lovely. All of you have got a beautiful voice, so it's good to listen to others. And thank you, Karthik, for giving me the opportunity to be the opening batsman. Anyway,
आपने तो छक्का पे छक्का मार दिया. Thank you.
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं. It's all Baba's grace.
Jai Baba. Baba in the happiest mood. KDRM, Manik, and the other or energizers, the
The organizers.
organizers, these organizers were upset and embarrassed. There were several from prominent people that they had brought to the Darshan program to introduce to Baba, but now the opportunity was gone. They were also now faced with the monumental job of trying to distribute the remaining prasad heaps and heaps of plantains which Baba had blessed to the chaotic sea of humanity. But the most difficult thing for them was the feeling that Baba had been displeased by unruliness of the crowd. In his return to Majesty's house, Baba surprised the Mandali and the local Baba lovers who were there by declaring how happy he had been with the program. Baba suddenly conveyed from his board, today's program I liked. I liked it very much. First of all, I sat down there on the ground in the midst of people on their level. I sat there not for show, but wholeheartedly. As Kumar said, I really wish that there would not have been this confusion. It was I who repeatedly asked for women's queue to be stopped and the men's to be called for receiving prasad. Anyway, I liked the program. Baba continued, you have no idea. I was in the happiest mood for one moment. For many years today, I felt all alone in the whole crowd. God, who is absolute honesty, is my witness. Today, I was reminded of the experience I had after Baba Jan kissed me. I was all alone there for a moment. Sometimes you too may feel mentally that you're all alone and everything else is a blank. But in comparison to the real experience of oneness, all these experiences are absolutely insignificant, nothing. Today I am happy. My work has been done 100%. I'm satisfied. One of the local Andhra Babalavas asked, how are we to know of your oneness? Baba replied, honestly, I tell you, even I sometimes don't understand why I'm so infinitely infinite. How can you understand me? Pull your ears.
So, if I can pause and add a comment here. So, in this line, right? Honestly, I tell you, even I sometimes don't understand why I am so infinitely infinite, right? So, is that the when he says, I don't sometimes understand? So, is that the limitation of being in body, or is it just a general expression, right? Or it's just poetic license or just creative license? What is everybody's
Yeah,
comments?
yeah, Baba. I think the whole idea is remember again the avatar becomes, whereas the other God realized people they act. Since the avatar descends and he doesn't go through evolution, reincarnation, and the divine theme is that the avatar as God in human form, when he descends in embodied form, he becomes everything, right from the subatomic particle to the most whatever. So the the whole thing is that uh, even though he knows he's the avatar, but he is a human being. He is going through all the trials and tribulations, uh, you know, uh, of the pain and pleasure, whatever that is. So that is the role of the avatar, that he becomes you just like an ordinary human being, even though internally is already there. So that is the explanation. Because I was doing some chat GPT on Rama and what happened, with the deer and all that. So I'll send you that link, which I had looked at. It's basically the whole idea is the avatar is like an ordinary human being, and that is the paradox, Jay Baba.
False temporary limitation on the limitless, which, by the way, he willingly takes on periodically. Anyway, let's continue. If there are no other comments, Sunilji, you can continue.
Jai
Okay.
Baba, Karthik, if I may, So also this world of reality and duality, that chart in God's peace comes to my mind, that there are two different worlds, but Baba is trying to, being God in human form, he's trying to infinitely infinite, uh, is also there, and also he's in the human form. So he's trying to merge both worlds, because all worlds are within him. So he's trying to merge both worlds and be with us. So that's his compassion, his love for us. Jai Baba.
Yeah.
Sharama. Just very briefly, I was thinking a little differently. I think Baba, while he lives uh, in a human form, he's still God. So one explanation could be what Amma explained. Another one could be even in the other state, godly state. Is he saying that I sometimes don't understand why I'm so infinitely infinite? So, and that state we don't understand. So I would not think too much, but I'm keeping my mind neutral. So I would not dwell too much into it.
I think
Jai Baba.
that's a good point as well. Sure. Thank you. Let's
Okay,
continue.
But
we'll continue.
Jai
Yeah,
Baba, but
Jai
once
Baba.
again, Jai Baba, but just to extrapolate what Sunil just said, all of us in different stages of our life, sometimes we feel completely in bliss. There are moments where there is a no mind state and you actually are aware of it and you feel amazingly, for lack of a right word, in being, just be. And then at that moment, you think, how come I'm not able to abide in the state all the time? And then you go back to your original state, which is, we are devoured by our sanskaras. And that I think is an analogy to what Baba just mentioned and what you guys just discussed. That's my understanding. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Right. Please. Yeah.
Okay. Can I?
Please.
Okay. Pull your ears. The local Baba lovers had been very disappointed when Baba had to leave the darshan program early, and those who were at Baba's Majesty, Baba, sorry, and those who were at Majesty's house couldn't understand what Baba really meant by his remark that he was immensely happy in spite of the fiasco. It was all Greek and Latin to them, but they,
By the way, it's Majeti. Majeti. Telugu name.
but they felt much relieved that Baba seemed so pleased with the program. One of those who was traveling with Baba throughout Andhra was Adarsh Kare from Mahoba in Hamirpur district. He had also been present at the workers' meeting Baba held on February 10 at Mersana just before he left Hamirpur. At that meeting, Adarsh had voiced complaint to Baba. He had said Baba should allow local organizers to arrange the darshan program and conduct them as they saw fit and without Mandali's interference. Others went on to point out that when Baba had given darshan at Mahoba, they had arranged for the important people of the town to meet Baba. But instead of being allowed sometime in Baba's company, they were treated like everyone else. No sooner had they had Baba's darshan than one of the Mandali was escorting them away so the next person could have darshan. Let the local people handle things, Baba, others suggested. They know who should be allowed little more time and they know how to treat these people with proper amount of respect. Baba didn't say anything to him. To uh, Baba didn't say anything at the time, as others went on to complain that Mandli was rather rude and pushed people without reference to their social position in their efforts to ensure that the darshan flowed smoothly. He simply smiled and left it at that. But now, almost 2 weeks later, Baba turned to Adarsh and signed, "Pull your ears." Pulling one's earlobes is an old Indian gesture to express repentance. Adarsh was taken aback, but he immediately did as he was ordered. But he could not help himself from asking, "What have I done?" Today's program was organized by local lovers. Tell me, when you were leading me to the car, what were you doing? I linked arms with other volunteers, Baba, and I kicked out with my feet, fighting a way through the crowd so we could clear a path for you. And when you were kicking people, did you stop to see whether they were important people or not? Whether they were influential people? Did you stop to consider whom you should be respectful to? Instantly, all of others' previous complaints against the Manli came back to him. But he realized now from his own experience that the Manli's main duty was protecting Baba's physical forms. That puts precedence over all forms of the conventional and social etiquette. Others were filled with remorse and looked up at Baba, who gestured again with a large smile on his face. "Pull your ears." What an amazing awareness Baba had to know what each of his lovers were doing in such a crowd, and Baba's awareness of each of his lovers' actions and throughout and thoughts continues unabated to this very day. Baba willingly allows his lovers to criticize him without attempting to defend himself until they have had the inner experience to be able to wholeheartedly accept the validity of his reason. This is humility which is unfathomable, a patience which is matchless, and a compassion which only the God man possesses. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Absolutely.
After this incident, Adarsh was able to see the Mandi's actions in the right perspective as the actions of those who only concern, whose only concern is pleasing Baba. The Mandi have turned their backs on the world's opinion of them, indifferent to praise or blame. They live only for their beloved Baba, knowing well is that in serving him, they are serving the purest expression of the divine will. For Baba's work, though limited in physical sense, actually affects and is for all humanity. Conditions imposed and withdrawn in love. After conversing with all in Majesty's house for a while, Baba asked everyone to return to the old tree. What is that old tree?
Told
To have
three.
Chaultry is Dharamshala in
Dharamshala.
South India.
I see. Baba asked everyone to return to the Chaultry to have the dinner and then go to bed. Manik, on leaving Baba's room, went downstairs to spend some time with Majesty, Med, with Majesty
It's
Majesty.
and
Majeti. It's Majeti.
Majeti,
Majeti. Andhra
Majeti
last name.
and Majeti and Chinta. They were discussing that afternoon the Malta's darshan program when Ramanu and Sheshagiri Rao came rushing and
Basically,
wanting to know why Baba had not arrived at the Vijayawada Center for the program which had been arranged. Manik had been so preoccupied with the distribution of prasad and the darshan site after Baba left, and so upset with what he perceived as program's failure that when he had finally rejoined Majesti's house, Baba at Majesti's house, he had totally forgotten to tell him that he had previously scheduled a special gathering at Vijayawada Meher Center for that night. It was now around 9:30 at night, and there were nearly 1,000 people waiting to receive Baba, beloved Baba, with garlands, with gifts of love. And Baba didn't arrive as scheduled. Ramalu and Shishavri got into a jeep and drove to Majesty's house around a kilometer away to see what was keeping Baba. Manik now found himself in a terrible dilemma. He didn't know what to do. He didn't want to disappoint all those people gathered at the center, but he didn't know how he could disturb Baba, who had already retired for the night. Just then, he saw Prendu going upstairs carrying a medicine chest, and he intercepted him and explained the situation. After a moment, Prendu came down and told Manik to go up to see Baba. Manik entered the room and saw Baba sitting at the table by himself and about to have his simple supper. Baba was mixing his rice and vegetable dish together. Manik was fascinated to see how God man would eat. Just then Baba looked up, saw Manik and gestured for him to come forward. Manik was shy. He felt it wasn't proper for him to intrude on Baba's privacy in that matter, so he stayed at the door. But in the midst of all his anxiety and conflicting emotions, a funny thought suddenly popped into his mind. I wonder if Baba had any teeth. Seeing Manik hesitate at the door, Baba got up and walked towards him with a morsel of food in his right hand. As Baba approached, Manik backed away. What a humorous situation. And Godman pursuing his lover, who was retreating. Baba got close, however, and as he did so, opened his mouth, indicating that Manik should do the same. That's Manik's unspoken question answered, and he could see that Baba had no teeth, and therefore he should recover from his surprise that Baba was gratifying his curiosity. Baba has put the morsel of food into Manik's mouth. Baba then wiped his hands with a napkin, a sign that his supper was over. He did not take a single mouthful himself. Perhaps he had heard the call of love from his dear ones. At this point, Eric came into the room. On seeing Manik, he demanded to know what he was doing there. No one was supposed to disturb Baba at that hour. Nervously, Manik explained the dilemma he had found himself in, that he had completely forgotten to notify Baba of the Awakens program that had been arranged at Sir Vijayawada's center. What do you want? Eric asked. I thought I should tell Baba now to see if he will go. Manik replied apologetically. Is this the time for a darshan program? Eric demanded. It was now after 10. Can't you see that Baba hasn't even had his food yet? Aren't you going to let Baba eat or sleep? Eric scolded and then continued to upgrade Manik for coming at such an hour. Eric stated emphatically that it is not possible for Baba to leave now to give darshan at the center. For one thing, Eric explained, Baba would not go without the rest of the Mandali, and they had already been sent to their own quarters for the night. But being the compassionate one, Baba gestured that he was willing to go, that he could spare 5 minutes to appease the longing of those waiting to at the center for him. Still, Eric insisted that it was too late and that Manik shouldn't even ask Baba to do such a thing. In his eagerness to protect his beloved Baba, to see his comfort, Eric categorically declared, even if angels were to come down from heavens to ask Baba to go, Baba would not leave his room. Baba immediately got up and cupped Eric's chin in his hand, a typical Indian gesture to mollify a person. He then took Manik by his hand and led him to his bedroom where he held his arm behind his back so that Manik could help him put his sadra. Manik had never done this before and was humbled when Eric came and took over. Once he was dressed, Baba conveyed that he would visit the center only if all were agreed to 3 conditions. These were, no one should shout Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai. No one should bow down to Baba or touch his feet. And no one should offer gifts to Baba or garland him. Manik assured that he felt the conditions would be willingly agreed to. But how will you find out, Baba asked. I ran to the center and asked, then run back here and inform you, Manik replied enthusiastically. Baba commented that that would take too long and asked what arrangement had been made for his transportation to the center and back. Manik said two of the organizers had come in a jeep and that would be made available to him. Baba then suggested that Manik come with him. So Baba urged Pendu, Chagan, Sidhu, and Manik left Baba's room to visit the center. When they reached the street where the jeep was parked, it was obvious that there wasn't enough room. Manik was wondering where he could possibly sit when Baba joked that Sidhu was large and Manik was tiny. Manik could easily sit on Sidhu's lap. Before they started, Baba asked Manik to direct them to the center by a circuitous route. As they were driving, they happened to pass by the Chalsi, where the rest of Mandi was staying. Manik pointed out the place to Baba and said, if Baba wanted his Mandi with him, it would be easy to arrange. Easily, Baba replied, why? Isn't it enough that you have disturbed me? Now you want to see that none of my Mandi gets sleep either? Manik kept quiet, and when they arrived at the center, he ran upstairs to explain to everyone who were there about Baba's three conditions. With one voice, all gathered in the hall said they would obey the instructions. They only wanted to see Baba in their midst. Manik rushed back down, told Baba that all had readily agreed. Baba seemed pleased at this. He got out of the jeep and with his four mandli mounted the stairs. As he entered the hall, there was a pin drop silence. Baba bowed with folded hands before the large portrait of himself which Y. Rangarai had drawn. Baba was so touched with the wholehearted and unanimous acceptance of the conditions he had imposed and the way they were being scrupulously observed that he turned to the assembly and announced, I sent a message that I would give version on three conditions, but now if you wish to say Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai, I give you my permission. A thundering cry of Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai rent the night air. Baba smiled and added, I'd instructed that none could touch my feet or bow to me or garland me or give me anything, but now I allow everyone to come forward to have my darshan. Don't worry, I will stay here until everyone has had my darshan. You will all have your chance. And if any of you wish to garland me or offer me anything or bow down to me, you may do so.
Jay Baba, I want to ask one question. So, Baba uh, would uh, would not allow or refrain from people touching his feet. So, there is a significance. Of course, all of you may be knowing it. So what is this that first said that nobody should touch my feet, or and then later on he allowed. What is the significance of this, or is there a one of is there some spiritual significance to this?
Yeah, Baba, there is no significance. Baba is doing inner work all the time. So don't try to analyze, that's the right approach. Yeah,
Exactly.
Baba.
I think, yeah, we can never understand, but we see so many examples of such behavior from Baba, and it's only up to him, and it's only up to his work and his decisions regarding this.
One comment I can make here is that when all the people they accepted Baba's instructions and kept silent, did not uh, say the words as they would like to repeatedly say, Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. So that actually impressed Baba. Baba wants obedience, and if he is pleased with his obedience, he will please his
Universe.
say, his his own by anything they want. After that, that's the gesture here.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a test and followed by a reward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just Jay
But
Baba, just one more thing I wanted to highlight is that there is a mention in the people in the Baba world that you don't touch uh, anybody's feet because you transfer sanskaras. Now that is a myth or it's true. I don't know, but they do say that when you touch somebody's feet, you are transferring your sanskaras to him.
Jay Baba, there is a paragraph in discourses that the important thing is, suppose you follow the wrong teacher who is deluded, and you actually follow that particular teacher who is not self-realized and is deluded, then the negative effects of that particular teacher can also, it's not just about any teacher. The idea is that all ordinary human beings carry sanskaras. And I think that if you allow somebody to bow to you, it is about our ego, that you are allowing somebody to touch your feet. And that is the reason that one should not allow anybody to touch one's feet, because we are still on the journey. Only you touch the feet of a God realized being or a Sadguru, or maybe a Wali or Peer, on the fifth or sixth plane. That I'm not sure about. Hey, Baba.
Chair, the thought that came to my mind, I think the question was beautiful. Uh, in this particular instance, the program was not scheduled. I Everything happens by Baba's will, but it was not, at least in the program sheet, by Baba's acceptance. Of course, he must have known what is happening, but it was not formally accepted. So that's one thing. He was, as much as we understand, I think he was very rule based. His life was minute to minute choreographed by Aditya Rani or his secretaries, and he would want everybody to follow the rules. Uh, this program is not part of the official program, but he accepted because his lovers were waiting. And probably there must be significance to touching Baba's feet. What that is, whether stars are transferred, whether people get blessing. I think this bunch of people were not originally ordained to get that blessing, but when he saw them, he accepted. Okay, you can touch my feet. Then he accepted, you can say Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai, because he found them completely obedient, as already said. So I think love of the disciples can get anything from the beloved. He changed his mind or whatever. He said, okay, these people also get his blessings, is what I felt. So, Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
indeed, I think interesting and nice discussion on this topic. Um, Again, can we rotate the reading if anybody else wants to read? Baba Ji or
Yeah,
Namita? Yeah,
I
so,
would like to read for 10 minutes. Yeah.
yeah.
I,
Thank
I
you.
love this
Thank you,
reading, by
Sunil
the
Ji.
way. I jumped in because Baba gave me a fresh eye. I had eye surgery earlier
Oh,
this week. So I wanted
oh,
to start reading. I,
yeah.
I had cataract surgery. It's not fresh eye, but a fresh lens, I guess.
Yes.
So I'm not using
Oh, oh, oh.
specs. Yeah.
Yes.
Everything is good. Yeah, just wants to be.
So,
So
Thank you. Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba Sundaji,
Wonderful,
for your
New,
wonderful.
new, may the
new
new
way.
lens, may the new lens help you to see Baba.
Hey, Baba. Oh yes. Wow. May Baba
Jai,
give me that lens to see.
Yes.
Not the worldly lens.
Jai
Jai
Baba
Baba.
Sundaji,
Thank you. Thanks for
I'm
blessing.
and Jai
Yeah,
Baba
Sanjay ji.
yeah,
Sundaji, I'm just
yeah, yeah.
echoing Sanjay's perspective that you read with a new perspective or a new look in your face, and with a new perspective, you read the portion you read.
Yes.
It was beautiful reading. I love this reading. One of the best I've had. So I
Yes,
was
yes,
like completely engrossed. Yeah. Jai
yeah.
Baba. Thank you.
Jai
Thank
Baba.
you.
Thank you, thank you. Baba decides the order. Baba decides the chances we get in reading, and the he answers so many things every time I've observed, and I'm sure a lot of us will agree. So anyway, thank you so much for reading, and yeah,
Another
Sanjay
another
ji.
another thought another thought
Sure.
that crossed my mind. I just want to rattle it here quickly. Pitaji, my grandfather, was also with Baba on one of his Andhra tours, but Baba has done a couple of them, so I don't know which one. So I keep thinking constantly, was he there? Was he not there? Which one was it? But it
I
was one
think
of
in his
these,
second tour, Baba had invited a lot of people to join him. I'm
possibly.
not sure
Yeah,
about the first, which was in 53.
poss-
54 was the next one. This is, we are talking of 54 years. Yeah.
I think he was there in this tour, but I dare not say because I don't have evidence. But I've heard from him that he went to Andhra with Baba on a long tour, and he had some stories he used to tell me,
Yeah, yeah.
but
You
can't
should you
remember.
should maybe watch all Andhra movies of Baba's visit.
Possibly,
Uh,
yeah, I
yeah,
will do that.
there. I had a CD. I don't know whether
Mhm.
the same film is available on the YouTube, but I
I
had a
see.
CD. Yeah,
We'll
I
check up
have a CD
sometime. Yeah,
rather. I don't know where it is kept in my house, but I have it. Yeah. Jai Baba.
we will. We will do that. Yeah,
Jai
Sanjay
Baba
ji. Thank
Sundaji,
you.
you might
Mhm.
get some clues in Lord Meher. Whether
It's okay. We'll just flow. Baba will show us somewhere, sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. Baba will
Thank
let
you.
you know soon with the new eye. You will get to know. Yeah. Jai Baba.
No, I need that.
Divine lens.
I need the one, Sanjay ji. अब तो आपने बोल दिया, अब तो वही चाहिए.
अब तो मिल जाएगा आपको. You will get the details. Get the details very soon. Jai
yes,
Baba.
Thank you. Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai
It's
Thank you.
Baba, Jai Baba.
it's more than a new eye with a new lens. It's a new vision.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Divine vision. Yes. Thank you. Jai Baba.
Divine. Jai
Thank
Baba.
you. Baba.
Insha Baba. Sanjay ji, please continue.
Yeah. Baba asked that bhajans be sung while people were taking his darshan. And at the end of the program, he stood up and joined in the arti himself that was offered to his portrait. It was nearing midnight when the program finally concluded. Baba had proposed the conditions to help his dear ones be more respective to his love and compassion. But but all the conditions were withdrawn by the loving acceptance of his wishes by his lovers. The avatar is truly the slave of the love of his lover. It was indeed a memorable meeting, and that night some left the hall with a blissful heartache to feel Baba's presence more and more, and this heartache is still following them. Machilipatnam and Vada, Gudi Vada, 1954, Part 6. Baba keeps the pot boiling. By 7 in the morning on February 22nd, the Mandali were at Majeti's house, ready to move on to the next town. As they entered Meher Baba's room, they found that once again he wished to reconsider the proposed visit to Penugonda with KDRM. Some were in favor of Baba's going, while others, primarily because of their prejudice against E Murthy, the Penugoda representative, were against it. Baba seemed to want to keep steering this particular pot of dissension. The debate appeared to me to be quite heated, but later I learned that Andhra people tend to express themselves with gusto and that the discussion had not been as acrimonious as I had feared. Meanwhile, Baba seemed to be thoroughly enjoying the argument, purposefully getting to rise out of this one or that one. Yes, Baba's message of my dear workers was given in Andhra, right? Yeah. So maybe it is after this, yeah. This reminds me of the time when one of Baba's disciples was distressed to notice that after living with Baba for some time, instead of becoming more composed, he seemed to flare up periodically. When he thought, when he brought this to Baba's attention, Baba smiled and replied that in a sense, this was true, but it was not without reason. He then explained this by using the analogy of boiling sugarcane juice. When farmers in India want to make raw sugar, they squeeze the juice out of sugarcane stalks and then boil the liquid for hours until it becomes very thick. Then they pour the liquid into molds, and as it cools, it hardens into a solid mass of raw sugar, which is then used for cooking. Call it good. Yeah,
Jaggery, yeah.
jaggery. Yeah. Baba asked the disciples, what happens when the sugar cane juice is boiled? The disciple replied, scum rises on the surface and then it is scooped off. Baba gestured that similarly, when some of his lovers, he uses this boiling technique to cleanse their hearts, and in the process, the scum, impurities caused by sanskaras, rises to the surface when where it can be scooped off. Baba added that although this happens in some cases, his lovers should not use it as an excuse to refrain from restraining their behavior or controlling their moods. Perhaps during the discussion of the Penugonda visit, Baba was keeping the pot boiling so that the scum of ego, conflict, and disharmony would be brought to the surface of him for him to scoop it off during the upcoming workers' meeting on March 2. At any rate, regarding the Penugonda visit, Baba turned to one of the members of KDRM and spelled on his board, I know you love me, but do the people of Penugonda love me? I don't want crowds. I want lovers. I can make the whole world come to me, but what I want now is love. Are there lovers in Penugonda? When Baba asked this question, the immediate import of the word lover was brought home to them and no one said a word. The conversation seemed to have suddenly become very serious. There was a marked silence as each pondered whether he could consider himself a Baba lover, the real sense of the word. Someone then suggested that at any rate, as Baba had promised yesterday that he would go, then he should go to keep his word. With a mischievous smile, Baba quickly quipped, I am Ustad, an expert in not keeping promises. Baba's quick witted banter lightened the atmosphere, and Baba then added, but since KDRM have given their word, let's go. It has been noticed that Baba's delightful sense of humor has helped many to get closer to him. Once Baba told his sister Mani, I am the only one who never breaks a promise. However, being a timeless one, Baba fulfills his promises in his own time. The topic then changed, and Baba told Majeti how happy he was with him
I think those two last sentences are quite very effective to understand.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
You can repeat
yeah.
that.
There is also Irat's talk on the same subject on the website, that mandihall.org. And somebody says that should we ask only for spiritual things to Baba, or we can also ask because we are in trouble. We tend to ask Baba many things. Then Irat's reply is, as usual, very very smart. He says, "Who is stopping you to ask? Keep asking. Where else you will go? If you are in pain, where you will go? Baba help me, Baba help me, Baba do this, Baba do this. But don't expect an answer. Baba will. It's a similar thing here. Yeah. It's a very beautiful
Mm.
talk. Yeah. Jai Baba.
Very, very nice
Yeah.
answer, and
Yeah.
very relevant.
Yes. The topic then changed, and Baba told Majeti how happy he was with him, and he even allowed a photograph to be taken of himself with Majeti's family and some local Baba lovers. Meanwhile, a large crowd had gathered in front of the house to give Baba a hearty send off. In addition to KDRM, Baba permitted some of his lovers in Andhra, such as Manik, Pai, Rama, Rama Mohan Rao, Purnachandra Rao, and others to accompany him throughout his tour. With shouts of Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai ringing in our ears, the karma left for Machilipatnam a little before 8. Ever since Baba stayed in Majeti's house, the room he used was set aside exclusively for prayers and as a meeting place for Baba lovers. The house itself was renamed Meher Abode. Truly, from this initial contact, Majeti was lucky to have his abode in Baba's heart. It is also interesting to find that coincidentally, the very spot where Baba gave mass darshan in Vijayawada was chosen by the municipality as a site for a large public auditorium. Now, when public programs are held in Vijayawada, they are held in the Kshatriya Kala Kshetram, which stands on the ground where Baba gave darshan in 1954. In fact, 30 years after Baba's visit there in October 1984, a gathering of Baba lovers was held there, to which over 1,000 people from all over Andhra came. Visit to MSR Shastri's house. On the way to Machilipatnam, we passed through a village named Kankipadu, where the villagers were holding an annual fair in honor of a Hindu goddess. To entertain the people and children, a small wooden merry-go-round had been set up. Baba asked Dharma Rao to stop the car, and unexpectedly, but to the delight of all, Baba sat on the merry-go-round for a few turns. Madan Arora, Kishan Singh's son, who had joined the Mandali on the morning of February 21 and who had been filming Baba's tour, was fortunate enough to get a nice shot of Baba smilingly enjoying his ride. In the village of Pammaru, a small darshan program had been arranged. Aarti was performed to Baba, but due to a lack of time, Baba was unable to personally distribute prasad to 500 or so villagers who had gathered. However, Baba touched the sweets and bananas and dictated on the board, I give you all my blessings, and this prasad will have my love behind it when you receive it. Baba then folded his hands in namaskar to the villagers and said, Jai Baba. Baba reached Machilipatnam a little after 10 in the morning. On the outskirts of town, Baba had a musical welcome as a brass band played for him. Accompanied by sweet sounds of Sanai, I think it is Shehnai, Baba's car was taken in a procession to P. Lokananda Rao's house. M. Sita Ram Shastri was one who had extended the loving and humble invitation to Baba to visit Machilipatnam, but his house was too small to accommodate Baba, so he asked his neighbors and friend Lokananda Rao if he would give his house for Baba's use. Rao said he would, although he was not particularly interested in Baba and his family was against letting Baba use the house. Baba was ready. Baba was led to the upstairs of the house where L. Rao was fortunate to have his first meeting with Baba. He was so deeply impressed with Baba's divinity that when he came downstairs, he wanted to bow down to the Mandali just because they were Baba's disciples. Baba is so infinitely generous that he rewards even disinterested help offered in his cause by awakening love in the heart of the one who proffers it. MSR Shastri had heard from Y. Angarao, the R of KDRM, that Meher Baba was the avatar. He was especially touched by Jean Andrel's book Avatar. Although he was a Brahmin born in an Orthodox family, Baba's love cut through the orthodoxy and reached his heart. On the 21st, Shastri gone to Vijayawada to greet Baba, to repeat his invitation to Baba to visit Machilipatnam. At Guntur, Baba gave Shastri one of his coats and asked him to wash and iron it and then hand it over to him when he came to Machilipatnam. Shastri lovingly obeyed his order, and for days after Baba's departure, he could smell the sweet fragrance of his coat permeating his house. Love is madness, but a blessed madness. Now that Baba had arrived in Machilipatnam, he wanted to begin the day's program by visiting Shastri's house, but the house was situated in a lane which was too narrow for Baba's car to pass. So Shastri spread costly, brightly colored saris all the way from the main road to the entrance of his house. The riches of Shastri's heart were made manifest during this visit. In one of the room of his house, Shastri had kept a photograph which Adi had given him, which Meher Baba had signed. This room was to be used as a Baba center in Machilipatnam. When Baba came, he himself garlanded the photograph and bowed down to it. Some newcomers were surprised at this, and knowing what was going on in their mind, Baba dictated. I find no one to bow down to accept me because I find myself in everything. My coming here physically and opening this center will be of avail if you all make me yours as you already are eternally mine. This center will be worth its name if it expresses my message of love by making people understand that God is the only reality. In these few words, while specifically blessing this particular center, Baba has given guidelines for any group of his lovers wishing to work for him. During Aarti, the room was so full that some of were squeezed out, yet I could still clearly hear Shastri reciting Sanskrit slokas in praise of the avatar. He sniffed in between lines because of a flood of ecstasy had overcome him and he could not keep back the tears. Baba's presence during such programs was often filled the hearts of the devotees and joy while their eyes overflowed with his love. Usually, when making house visits, Baba would have the head of the house introduce his family and close friends to him. But here, Shastri didn't introduce his family to Baba. When one of them complained to him about this, he said, Baba is God. He knows everything. So where is the need for any introduction? Once during a
Knows
Sahwaz program
everyone.
in 1958,
Yeah.
yeah, while
No, no, I
attending,
said it's everyone, not everything. Sorry for the interruption.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 everyone, yes. I can read that again, go up a bit.
Yeah.
Baba is God. He knows everyone. So where is the need for any introductions? Once during a Sahwaz program in 1958, while attending to other duties interested to me, I forgot to introduce one of my very dear friends, Parkhe, to Baba. Baba later had Iraj write Parkhe directly to say, Baba also wants me to convey to you that you need not feel disturbed for not being personally introduced to him. Introductions are felt essential only when there is absence of genuine give and take of love between the lover and the beloved. Baba is happy with your love. He wants you to remember him always. So Shastri's reply was indeed most apt. I must stop here. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
uh, Jai Baba Karthik, the last paragraph, that line, I think you can highlight. One second. Baba is, wait, a little above this. Little more,
The
little.
introduction.
No, no. One second. Where is it gone?
No, no, no. You're talking about this only. So this line and up to here.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I
Anyway,
didn't want. I didn't want to interrupt when he was reading. So
yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sanjay ji. Anybody wants to read?
Yes, I will read for a few minutes.
Please continue. Self lost.
We have stopped it abruptly here. One line above, one line above. So Shastri's reply was
Yeah,
indeed
correct.
most apt. That is, the reply is self-loss is freedom gained.
No,
That
no,
is
no,
the
no. That's the
reply.
next. No, that's the next heading. So this ends this section. This line ends the prior section, which
Okay.
is
Okay.
so. Uh, Baba later had Erich write Parke directly to say. So this is
Mhm.
Baba's words. And then, so Shastri's reply was indeed most apt. And that reference is to this one. This is Shastri's response. Baba is God. He knows everyone. So where is the need for any introductions?
Yes.
So that is
Okay.
most apt, is what he says. Okay, let's continue with self lost is freedom gained.
Self-loss is freedom gained. From Shastri's house, Baba went to Sai Samaj, an institution which took care of orphans as part of its social service. As Baba was listening to the devotional songs performed by these children, he took small kartal. He took a small kartal and percussion instrument from one of these boys and played along. The the woman who managed the Samaj also sang for Baba. Baba casually touched her head. This seemed to awaken such ecstasy in her that she suddenly flung herself at Baba's chair. Sobbing, Baba confronted her.
Comforted.
Afternoon, comforted her. Sorry. Afternoon, we all returned to our residence where L. Rao served us another nice South Indian meal, while the Mandli enjoyed the delicacies such as puliohara, pachadi, payasam, pappadam, Telugu, etc., Baba continued to give brief audiences to the families of Baba lovers who had come there to see him. Throughout the Andhra tour, Baba would have a little rice, and dal, but on some occasions went without food entirely to feed his dear ones with his presence and love. The public darshan, Praja Darshan, okay, program was arranged for 3 p.m. in the town hall. Hundreds of people had already assembled there, and a bagpipe band was playing when Baba arrived. He enjoyed the music and the verve of the pipe master so much that a little later he conveyed, I feel very happy to hear this music. It reminds me of the first song that was sung ages ago that produced this phenomenon called the universe. I feel very happy to hear this music. It reminds me of the first song that was sung ages ago that produced this phenomena called the universe. Any input from others? What Baba is meaning here?
Basically, he's talking of the Nada, another sound, celestial sound, the first sound.
Yeah. And that can it be that
We call
Nada?
as Brahman in Sanatana, that word is called the Brahmanada. The Shiva's Damru, the first sound, basically, yeah. Okay, Baba.
No, I was thinking about the song coming from God saying, "Who am I?" Can it be that also?
Yeah, yeah.
Because the phenomena called the universe is produced by this sound image. We can think like that.
Also, yeah.
Yes. Baba
Jay,
looked with
Mamaji, it can also be Om. Om is said to
home.
be
Yes.
uh, uh, one of the original sounds. We don't know. I don't know, but I'm just suggesting.
Yes, it can be so many things as we think around. Yes. Continuing, Baba looked very pleased as the program began. After the unusual formalities of a public program, after the usual formalities of a public program, Baba had his message. Self lost is freedom gained. Read out in English and then its translation into Telugu. The full text is given below. Self loss is freedom gained. When lust, greed, anger, jealousy, hatred, backbiting, and selfish desires are totally absent, God manifests His presence. However, these evils are the outcome of impressions, sanskaras of past lives, and must necessarily be expressed. Getting rid of them is ordinarily impossible. It is like a rock trying to lift itself, trying to lift itself. Nevertheless, past impressions must be expressed to be gotten rid of. But at the same time, these past impressions are being expressed and pent. New ones are forced because of the assertion of the lower self. If one is to be freed of the endless chain of impressions, past and present, uh, chain of impressions, past and present, this assertive lower self must be abolished. To follow the path of true karma, dhyan, or bhakti yoga is the best remedy for uprooting To follow the path of the true karma, dhyan, or bhakti yoga is the best remedy for the uprooting of this heritage of evil derived from past impressions, expressed by constant actions and sustained by continual formation of new ones. In Karma Yoga, one tries to lose oneself in selfless service for others. In Yoga, one tries to lose oneself in contemplation and meditation. In Bhakti Yoga, one tries to lose oneself in devotion to God. Even in these yogas, it is only at their very ultimate that the lower assertive self is lost in God consciousness. The earliest and the easiest and safe way to lose oneself is by completely surrendering to the perfect master. Then the past, present, and future impressions of one who has surrendered are drowned in the master, perfect master's divinity. And one is no longer either bound by or responsible for anyone's action, whether good or bad, expressed during one's life of implicit obedience to the master. Life of implicit obedience to the master. Thus, complete surrender to the perfect master is in itself freedom. I think you can mark out.
I think this is a very, very important thing.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
What is implicit obedience versus explicit obedience? Any thoughts?
Explicit is only in action. But implicit is you do not even think. That story must be
Yeah.
read somewhere, right? Then he says, the master says, uh, get the lanterns on, it was during the day. And he says, yes, yes. And
Day
he
is
sees,
night and night is day, or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That story is, we read that story, right? It
Yeah.
is just
Mm.
that. It doesn't look for anything other
So don't.
collaborative things to do the actions that master has asked him to do.
So here, I
Uh,
think
Mm.
implicit
yeah,
is unquestioned. I think the better way of
unquestioned.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
unquestioned. No, no thinking, no
Yeah.
logic, no
Yeah,
application
one
of
thing is
mind.
I get that question, but I still do it because I have to do it.
Yes.
I think that's the
Yeah.
initial phase, but finally you reach a stage you didn't even
Question
think.
also won't appear.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that story
Yeah.
of Kalyana where that from that
Mango. Yeah.
yeah mango. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to request Karthik is to just copy it and put it on the WhatsApp or Telegram
This
wherever. Yeah,
this
the
message.
last message that we read. Yeah, okay, Baba.
Sure. I will do
Yes,
that.
the whole message
Can do it later
daily.
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do it later. Yeah.
yeah.
J Baba, if I may add, there is the mention of real surrender, complete surrender. So the seven realities is the real surrender, real obedience. So I think we can link whatever has been read to the seven realities.
Yes, sir. Of course. Okay.
Yes, these are explicit, say, awareness brought about by repeated messages by Baba. And that is the crystal clear, epitomized prayer that reminds you of all these things.
Yeah.
And if I may add, without any, so we have a karma yogi in Kartik, uh, Jnana yogi in Kama, and Bhakti yoga Sunil. So I think that's something just.
You're
Uh,
breaking many hearts, but it's okay.
हमको भी कोई टाइटल दे दीजिए आशीष जी
अब
एक
हम
तो दे
हम
दीजिए
ज्ञान
कुछ
योगी नहीं है भैया। हमें ज्ञान नहीं चाहिए। हमें हमें बाबा की ब्लेसिंग मिल जाए काफी है।
we are all
and,
mix of
ज्यादा
everything. We are all
and,
mix
ज्यादा
of
ज्ञान
everything.
से भटक जाता
Yeah,
है।
yeah.
and
Just
Kama loves. It's not that he's just Gyan.
yeah, and Sanjay is likened to Sanjay in Mahabharata.
Jai Baba.
So you mean to say the others are only Baba club, back club?
I mean, there were only three things there. What are
Yes,
the
yes.
karma yogi,
Okay.
Jnana, bhakti, anyway. Oh, and all others are also very close to
Are
Baba.
still crystallizing, whereas the three examples
Yeah, yeah.
you feel
All
they
of
are already crystallized. Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
all
yeah.
of us on Saturdays are Bhakti yogis, and on Sundays we become Gyan yogis. Actually, most of them.
Yes.
Exactly.
And all other 6 days, karma yogis. Okay.
That's another good one. Yeah.
No,
No, no,
it
but
also,
in fact, if we are actually able to live that life of being in karma yoga in the material world during our 5 days, and be in bhakti yoga in one day, and then be in jnana yoga, we are sorted. I mean, we will, with Baba's grace, make very good progress. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
think Babaji unwittingly has given a very good formula.
Okay.
and if I may add, sorry, to everybody, that on March 12th, when I was seeing the Dhuni being lit in Hyderabad, so I think the annihilation of the mind and the burning of sanskaras, though very, very difficult, it's mentioned, it's like the rock lifting itself, is really very good reading and very good analogies in this today's reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jai
So we
Baba.
continue. Okay. Once Baba succinctly put the entire message quoted above into a single sentence, lose yourself in yourself and find yourself in me. Lose yourself in yourself, biggest self, and find yourself in big me, me, that is Avatar Meher Baba, okay, or God.
T-shirt line. Very nice T-shirt line again. Very beautiful.
Yes,
Lose yourself in your biggest self and find yourself in big me.
Oh,
yes.
I understood. Find yourself in me, but what is lose yourself in yourself?
No, the
So
lower
It's
your
self
twice.
yeah,
in your
please.
higher self. So the whole process here is of say giving up that the irritation caused by the lower self, trying your ego, always trying to put things in a say restricted perspective. And if you lose that, you will go into the bigger self,
Jivatma
Sorry,
identity to
Paramatma.
Paramatma identity.
Karthik, good suggestion that we should remember this when we make the next T-shirt.
You're making it? No?
I mean,
Anyway,
Just my size, I'll give you. That's all. That's why I
yeah, yeah.
asked.
Mine too. Mera bhi.
सबको अपने sizes और suggestions भेज दीजिए. I'll get one. I'll get one made here, Pune.
आप व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे डाल दो आज की रिक्वेस्ट सारे साइज भेज देंगे आपको
Bas.
Let's do it collectively. Yeah, good one. Thank you, Jai
Yeah,
Baba. Jai Baba.
maybe Nomita can also, who's a good designer, she can help with suggestions.
okay, continuing. During the darshan programs, when the messages were read out, Baba would occasionally have a remote look on his face. His eyes would seem to be staring at something far away, and his fingers, especially his index fingers, with their rapid movements, almost seemed to be transmitting the spiritual truth of the messages directly to those whose hearts were receptive. The avatar's life is a selfless giving of his love, a giving of his unbounded compassion to humanity. The avatar's life is a selfless giving of his love, big H, his love, a giving of his unbounded compassion to humanity. After the message, Baba distributed prasad to thousands of people, and by 6 in the evening, the program ended. Somebody can continue from here?
Yeah, we are almost out of time. I will read for the next 4 minutes.
Okay,
Thank you, Babaji. Thank you for reading. Let's see if we can finish this section.
yes.
Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. My answer will reach your heart. On his way back to L. Rao's house, Baba made several house visits to various of his lovers in Machilipatnam. First, Baba's car pulled up outside the home of V.R. Naidu, who was very old and ill and unable to leave his bed. He had sent his daughter to wait at the gate for Baba so she could welcome him and garland him. As Baba got out of the car, she stepped forward to offer the flowers. But to her surprise, Baba walked right past the gate without turning in and gestured, I have enough around my neck. He seemed in a hurry, and in amazement, she watched Baba quickly stride by, turn the corner, and then disappear down a side lane as if he were quite familiar with the neighborhood and knew where he was going. At a little distance, there were several hovels clustered together. The organizers who were following Baba looked at each other in surprise. They had scheduled no such visit, and they knew of no Baba lover living here. Baba walked up to one of the thatched huts, the home of a low caste mason who was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. This man, whose name was B. Lakshmudu, had heard of Baba's visit wanted had wanted to have his darshan. But being a poor person of low caste, he had felt that even if he had attended the public program, he would have been denied access to Baba. Then he had heard that Baba would also be visiting the homes of some of his lovers, but as far as Lakshmanu could tell, all of these people were well off high caste Hindus, and he complained to his wife, how can this Baba be the avatar? He is only for the privileged few and neglects those who are lowly and downtrodden. Imagine the man's surprise, therefore, when immediately after the public darshan program, Baba came personally to his hut. Baba smiled forgivingly at the man with such tender acceptance in his eyes that instantly he felt ashamed of his earlier denunciation of Baba. Now that he was in Baba's presence, he could not deny his compassion or love. Baba sat with the man silently for 5 minutes and then got up and left as suddenly as he had come. At the time, none of the Mandali or KDRM knew why Baba had visited the mason's hut or what had transpired in the poor man's heart. It was only later that one of the local Baba lovers went to talk to B. Lakshmanu and learned the whole story. But even though no one with Baba knew of the mason, Baba had heard the cry of his heart and had instantly responded to it. For Baba, no one is high caste, no one is low caste, no one rich, no one poor. Baba wants only one thing, love, so that in return he can give more of his love. Baba walked back to V.R. Naidu's house where his daughter was still waiting at the gate. This time, Baba lovingly accepted her garland. The girl then read out to Baba a letter her father had dictated to her, expressing his desire to surrender to Baba. He was too ill to be able to talk much, so he had poured out his heart in the letter. Baba went inside to visit the father, who was lying on his bed, unable to even get up to welcome the master. As Baba entered the room, the old man looked at Baba with obvious love, and Baba's eyes seemed to fill with compassion. Baba took a few quick steps across the room and sat down on the old man's bed and tenderly began to massage his legs and feet. Baba gestured that he was very happy with Naidu's love. and added, "Always think of me. I am the ancient one. I am Krishna." These statements, made with Baba's incomparable divine simplicity, seemed to fill the room with his timeless presence. Some sweets were brought, and Baba touched them and had them distributed as his prasad to all members of the family. Baba looked pleased with the love of the Naidu family, and he turned again to the invalid and reassured him, "When I say I am the slave of my lovers, it is not just an idle remark. Till the last moment, repeat my name, Baba, Baba. I will be with you." Perhaps this is Baba's assurance to all his dear ones who are bedridden or ill and dying. Perhaps to all who are hale and healthy as well. At this point, Dr. Dhanapati interjected that Naidu was so deaf he couldn't follow what Erich was saying. This caused a humorous twinkle to appear in Baba's eye, and he gestured, "I am also deaf. I listen only to very, very." But before he could finish, the daughter, who was standing a little distance away, began to sing Arti. When she and the family had finished, Baba left for a few more house visits and never completed the sentence. Naidu's deafness, however, was immaterial for Baba, does not need any words to reach the hearts of his lovers. A brief incident which happened at the Rome airport during Baba's visit to the West in 1956 illustrates this. As Baba and Erich were walking through the airport, a man, attracted by Baba's radiant face, approached and asked Erich if he, Baba, knew Romanian. Erich said no. And just then, Baba, who was walking a few feet in front, turned and gestured. "I don't speak Romanian, but I know what is in your heart, and my answer would reach your heart." After the house visits, Baba returned to El Rao's residence at about 7 that evening. Supper was served to the Mandali, and then they hurriedly packed their small bedding rolls and got ready to travel to Eluru at 3, a 3-hour car journey. The Baba lovers in Machilipatnam gathered to see Baba off. At 8, the caravan left, as usual, to the rousing cheers of Prem Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Very, very beautiful little stories which really, really touched my heart. His house visits were so, I mean, just put yourself in those, in Lakshmanu's shoes, in Naidu's shoes, and imagine what that experience would have been. It was really, really moving. I am thankful that I got a chance to read this section. Yeah, thank you, Baba.
Jai Baba.
Yeah, Jai Baba. Okay, so let's catch up tomorrow, and we will continue reading Manifesting. Yeah. Avatar,
Karthik, Jai
Meher
Baba,
Baba.
I have a query. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have a query.
sure.
We did that Satara, thing with Dr. Vasudev. So
Yes,
are we planning to do anything about it, or it's just because we were all in the call, and I believe
yes.
we were
So
thinking of supporting him, and I think Sunil and Nomita mentioned about making a brochure and all that. So I was just
I
wondering
think
if
I think you should create that group and also take it up offline with Nomita, as the first action is around the brochure and probably involves her directly the most. But you should create that group and move things along. And I think that's what I would say is the next step.
okay, and
If
that
it's
video
if it's
thing
not
that
already done. Yeah, yeah, I'll
right.
send you the link as well.
Yeah, so we'll use that link also. We can send it to the respective groups, once everything's
Perfect.
ready.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
sure.
Jai Baba.
Okay. Jai Baba, Jai Baba. Thanks, everybody. See
Jai
you
Baba.
all tomorrow. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Thank you, Karthik.
Jai Baba.
Karthik, you mentioned about some video or some link in the call. I don't know what was that. Some video
No,
you
no,
I
mentioned.
mentioned. I had
yeah, it's
mentioned.
just,
So
Yeah.
I think I'll
yes,
search on the YouTube if I can find something
Andhra.
to share. Andhra
Or if you
businessman.
get the CD, you can put it all on our
Yeah, I don't
channel
have
itself.
any converter to make it into a
Of
digital
play the
form, but
CD.
yeah, we'll see.
No, but if you have the CD, oh, but if, these days there are no CD trays, right? So no laptop comes with a CD tray. I have an
Yeah,
old one which has a CD
yes,
tray.
that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
CD I can look for it, must be somewhere, but
But
I
it's
can't
useless.
play
Yeah.
it or show it to anybody. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Jai
Baba.
Baba.